Ladies and gentlemen, we have bonus coverage now of the freshman game happening right at this point. So watch, and we will be right back with the junior varsity game in just a few moments.
Shot call.
Okay, so I have green.
Wait, we got one to come out.
Foul to the Falcons.
Again, this is bonus coverage of the freshman game happening right before the JV game. We'll let you listen to the sounds of the game. We will be right back with your junior varsity action between these two games.
Turnover foul, number 21, Thomas De Jesus. Shooting at the line, number 11, Hassan Cruz.
Shooters still. Do everything we should. Here we go. Hey, so with the ball opposite you, got to take the middle away. Good. Get back inside. Good. Get back inside. Run it out. Here we go. Hands. Get out the back. Hands. Hey, watch the block. He's got on this book in. Yeah, good spot. Yeah, hey, straight up. Hey, oh, yeah. Oh, okay, walk in. Hey, Sean. Hey, Hassan, take it out. Hassan, take it out.
Foul
Hey,
to
Matt, you bring it up.
Farmington.
Matt, hey, good man to man. Work hard here. Be ready to help. Who's in the hole? Hey, Sean. Hassan. You're good. Hey, relax, Matt. Relax. Go. Get down. Get on. Push up. Watch the hands. Put away, Alex. Push up. Put it down. Nice job, Thomas. Move up. Move, Hassan. That way. Hey, stay with it. Relax the shot. Help.
So again, we just have a little bit of the freshman game happening right beforehand. We will be live with the junior varsity game coming up as the freshman game is ending about 18 seconds. Pioneer down 54 for Farmington, 40 for Pioneer. 7 fouls on Pioneer, 2 on Farmington. As we will be live with the junior varsity game as the freshman game just ended. Final Farmington 54 and Pioneer 40. We will return with your junior varsity action coming up next. We'll play a few messages from the MHSAA and we will be right back.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we're about to get going, and I just got numbers for the for Farmington, so hopefully I don't mess up anyone's numbers, but I will do my level best. As Cochran in to take.
The tip-off is seconds away.
As we tipped off, that's grabbed by Powell. Sending it over on the far side, pulling that over is Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy sends it top of the key to Powell. That's stolen away by Bailey. Bailey heads the other direction for Farmington. That kicked underneath, up and in as Maurer puts that in. That makes it 2-0, Maurer. Maurer with his first 2 points of the game. The ball on the near side. Houston McCoy gets it over to Powell. Powell back over to Houston McCoy. That's stolen away. Headed the other direction is Whitfield. Whitfield puts it up and puts it in. Whitfield has his first points of the game, and it is 4-0. As that pulls up, getting up the other direction. Pioneer puts it up and in. Powell scores his first 2 points of the game. That makes it, or excuse me, there was a foul. That's going to be the first foul on Maurer.
Maurer. Shooting at the line, number 5. Micah Powell.
And up and in, so Powell with the +1, he has 3. That makes it 4-3. Bringing it up is Whitfield. Whitfield for Farmington has it into the paint, puts it up and puts it in. Whitfield with 4 points. That makes it 6-3. Farmington with the lead at 6:45 as Pioneer bringing it ahead. Harrison had it, but a whistle. As Powell inbounds, bringing ahead is Harrison. Harrison coming ahead for Pioneer, goes over the blockades. Harrison comes top of the key, moves it over on the far side to Lee. Lee steps back. Lee gets that over to Carter. Carter over on the far wing to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy in the far corner, gets it underneath. That back over, trying to get it to Lee, pulled away, but Harrison has it. Harrison into the paint, trying to get it up for Carter. He is fouled. Foul on Cochran. That is his first foul. As Carter puts it up and in. That makes it 4. Fair enough. Okay. Second foul wasn't on Maurer. As that was on someone else announced. Hold up. As now inbounding is Darden. Darden gets it ahead to Bailey. Bailey moves it over now. Coming up is Cochran. Cochran has that taken away. Coming the other direction is Harrison. Harrison has it blocked by Whitfield. Whitfield elevates and knocks it away. Again, 6-4 as it is Farmington with the lead.
Fouls on number 21. Number 2, take on
Akella with his first foul. Harrison puts the first shot up and off the rim, falls away. His next shot up, and that in. Harrison has his first points of the game. 1 point lead for Farmington as they bring it ahead. Bailey comes into the paint. Bailey loses the handle. That goes out of bounds. That will be Pioneer ball. 6:04 left to go here in this, the first. Pioneer to inbound as Carter has it. Baseline right. Carter being guarded by Darden. That ahead. Harrison knocked out of bounds by Bailey. That is going to stay Pioneer ball as they'll inbound it right in front of their bench. 1 point lead for Farmington as Carter to inbound right in front of his bench. That gets over to Powell. Powell gets it over to Harrison. Pioneer brings it up the court. Watching Harrison is Cochran. Harrison over center, gets it over to Carter on the far wing. Carter to the free throw line. Gets it back over to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy trying to put it up. That knocked away. Back over on the near side. Carter gets it top the key. Now inside to Lee. Lee over on the near wing. Racing in is Harrison who puts it up. Contact made. Harrison with his own rebound puts it up and in. Harrison with his first points of the game. That's a 1 point lead for Pioneers. 7-6 over Farmington. Bailey brings it up the court, down the far side, gets it over on the near side to Cochran. Cochran moves it over to Whitfield. Whitfield comes top of the key. Now moves it over on the far side to Cochran. Cochran steps back on that far wing. Lee watching him, now coming down the baseline. As that ball goes out of bounds, that will be Pioneer ball as Rink to inbound and timeout called. We'll take it with them. Let's play a message from the MHSAA. You're watching Pioneer Men's JV Basketball brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. At the first break, it's Pioneer 7 and Farmington 6.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As Rink to inbound baseline right. Again, forgive me, we just got the numbers for Farmington, so forgive me if I'm a little befuddled there. Bringing it up now on the near side for Pioneer is Powell. Powell over center line. Powell dribbles to his left, comes top of the key, gets it over to Lee on the near wing. Lee back over to Powell, top of the key, as Powell is being watched over there by Whitfield. Powell dribbles to his left, now moves it over to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy just to the left of center, gets it back to Lee, top of the key. Lee looks to his right. Lee moves it over to Harrison. Harrison dribbling with the left hand into the lane, drives, puts it up and in. Harrison has 4 points now. That makes it 9-6. Pioneer over Farmington, 4:31 left to go as a collision, diving for the ball. As Houston McCoy trying to get the ball. Harrison in there. Harrison picks up his first foul, or his second foul, I believe. Oh, that's what I thought. It's Houston McCoy. So Harrison still has one foul. As bringing it in is Hekili. Now Hekili over on the near wing, dribbles to his left. He's being watched by Rink. That kicked over on the far side to Whitfield. Whitfield comes down the baseline, puts it up off glass and in. Whitfield has 6 points. That makes it Pioneer 9 and Farmington 8. As bringing it ahead is Powell. Powell comes top of the key, moves over on the near side to Rick. Back over to Powell. He's back off of the arc by about 5 feet. Now calling out signals, gets Lee to come over to the far side, gets it over to Lee. Lee moves it over on the near side of Powell, trying to get it underneath the Harrison. Harrison steps back. That's blocked. Harrison gets the loose ball on the baseline and a whistle, and he stepped on that baseline. That is going to go over to Farmington. 9-8, Pioneer with the lead. 3:46 left to go. That ball inbounded. Harrison picks up. That'll be his second foul. As that's 2 fouls on Pioneer, 4 on Farmington. As Keeley to inbound it. As that's brought ahead. Now here comes Keeley over the center stripe. Onto the near wing as trying to reach in to get it is Al-Kakani. And top of the key, now coming down on the far side is Sykes. Sykes moves it back over to Keeley. Keeley comes top of the key. Now steps back, throws it over on the far wing. Trying to make his way in his Moxie. That tipped away, loose ball. Grab now over on the near side. Shot by Al Keeley. And Keeley sinks it, his first 2 points of the game. That makes it 11 for Farmington, 9 for Pioneer. As Powell brings it ahead down the far sideline for Pioneer. Over the center stripe, now Powell comes up, top of the key, moves it back over to Al-Kakani. Al-Kakani trying to get it underneath, that tipped away from Lee, but getting it back and putting it up is McVicker. That one just a little strong over the rim. Here comes Farmington the other direction as Keeley moves it over on the far side. Shot off the rim, falls away to the far side, but a rebound by Farmington, as with it on the far side is Whitford. And kick back over to Bailey. Bailey moves it over on the near wing over to Keeley. Keeley trying to dump it underneath. That tipped away from Whitford. Here comes Pioneer the other direction as Rink puts it up high. That grabbed away. Rebound by Keeley. That is going to be a jump ball possession error. Goes to Farmington. 11 points for Farmington, 9 for Pioneer, 2:25 left to go here in the first game of the season. As bringing it ahead is Whitfield. Whitfield into the paint, puts it up, little too strong, but a whistle. And that is going to be a foul on Pioneer. Did not catch who they put that on. As they just changed it to a charge. So that will be on Farmington as they talk things over. So that is going to go, they said number 3, so that'd be Whitburn on the Farmington side. As that in on the near side, Al-Kakani bringing it ahead. Al-Kakani goes over the center stripe. Al-Kakani gets it over to Rink. Rink on the far wing. Rink back, top of the key, over to Powell. Powell being guarded over there by Keeley. Now back over to Al-Kakani. Al-Kakani over to Rink on the far sideline. Rink cuts into the paint. That tipped back underneath. Put up, would not fall. Is trying to put it in was Blair. And went all the way around the rim, wouldn't come down. Here comes Farmington into the paint and up Bailey as his first 2 points of the game, as that makes it 13 for Pioneer, 13 for Farmington, 9 for Pioneer, as Bailey gets it underneath, trying to put it up as McVicker, and contact and a foul. As that is going to be on Sykes. 1 minute, 37 seconds left to go. McVicker at the line. Shooting 2. McVicker dribbles, eyes the rim, puts it up. That off the front of the rim. Falls short. Lee comes back in, giving Powell a breather. As Maurer comes in for Farmington. One more shot coming for McVicker. Pioneer down by 4. Farmington 13, Pioneer 9. 1:37 left to go. Here in the first, the officials over talking to the clock operator. Gets everything set the way they need it to. Appreciate you the very first game of this season for both junior varsity and varsity. At home versus Farmington, we appreciate you watching when you can't be here. Now second shot by McVicker. 2 fouls on Pioneer, 6 on Farmington. That up off the back of the rim, pulled down by Keeley. And a whistle
Fouls on Pioneer number 24.
As that's going to be a foul on Lee for Pioneer. That's the third foul on Pioneer. Bringing it is Dale for Farmington. Farmington with the 4-point lead and the ball. As Hakili has it on the near wing, right on the arc, gets it back over top the key. Now over on the far side is Dale. Dale gets to the paint, kicks it back over on the near wing for Maurer. That put up for 3 by Sykes. And that makes it 16-9. Farmington with the lead. Now coming in, McVicker puts it on the near wing for Rink. Rink works his way around the arc on the near sideline. That knocked away. Here comes Sykes the other direction for Farmington. Sykes puts it up. That a little strong, but a whistle. And it looks like it's going to be a foul on Pioneer. Powell set to check back in, as that is going to be a foul on Al-Kikani. Fourth foul on Pioneer, 6 fouls on Farmington. In the act of shooting, that's going to be, that's going to be inbound. Over to Sykes. Sykes for 3, and that off the rim falls over to the far side. Rebound by Maurer, going down the baseline, traveling. That will go over to Pioneer. 52.4 seconds left to go here in the first. 16-9, 7-point lead by Farmington. Pioneer with the ball. And Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. As Powell looking to inbound. Darden providing pressure. Now Rink over on the near sideline, brings the head for Pioneer. Rink over the center line. Rink kicks it over, and that just off the Powell tip of the Powell's hand. That hard off the glass. That is going to be Farmington ball. There you have it, baseline right underneath their own basket. And they have the 7-point lead. Dale to inbound. Powell watching him as now Gary comes in for Pioneer, giving Rink a breather. As now they'll have Gary wait as they just it's the uniform issue as Gary fixing things over on the far sideline. That inbounded by Dale, up on the far wing by Darden. That is going to be a travel over to Pioneer. Farmington up 16-9 with 34.5 seconds left to go here in the first as Carter inbound, baseline right, gets that over to Al-Kikani. Foul on the far sideline. As that's going to be a foul on Darden. That puts Farmington into, or Pioneers in the bonus, as that's the 7th foul on Farmington. That puts Al-Kikani at the line. Al-Kikani toes the line, dribbles the ball. Now looks up, bends the knees, puts it up. That off the back of the rim. Battle for it. That pulled away by Cochran. Heading the other direction is Farmington with the 7-point lead. Cochran comes top of the key, being launched there by Blair, and put up and in. Maurer with his second 2 points. Pioneer quickly up. Lee puts it up just a little too strong off the side of the rim. Quickly the other direction for Cochran as a foul by Pioneer. That is going to be, I believe, on Al-Kikani as well. Yep, that will be on Al-Kikani. That will be his second foul. As Farmington to inbound, coming on the far side is Cochran. Cochran That put up by Dale for 3, that off the rim. And that is where we stand, is at the end of 1. It is Farmington 18, Pioneer 9. Taking a look, let's see if I can, these are all my own stats, so they are not official, but leading the way with 6 is Whitfield for Farmington. With 4 is Maurer, with 3 is Sykes, 2 for Akili, and 2 for Bailey. On the other side, 4 for Harrison for Pioneer, and 3 for Powell, 1 for Carter, and I believe there's a second one for Carter, so 2 for Carter. Again, completely unofficial stats there. Let's play a little push on, and we will get right back going here for the second quarter. As Carter inbound right in front of us, trying to get that over to Powell. That's stolen away by Moxie, then stolen away again by Al-Kakani. Tipped out of bounds by Farmington. That should be Pioneer ball in a... That pulled him back over Pioneer to inbound. Trying to get it over to Al-Kakani. That just over his hands. Putting it up and in was Whitfield. Whitfield now has 8 points of the Farmington 20. Pioneer has it on the far sideline. Bringing it ahead is Powell. Gets down the side of the paint, puts it up. That off the glass, off the rim, falls off the near side, but a foul called on Farmington. Pioneer is in the bonus. That is going to be on Cochran. That looks like Cochran's second foul. That unofficial. As coming back in is Houston McCoy and Harrison for Pioneer. As Powell at the line. Powell toes the line. Puts it up. Rattles around and home. 4th point for Powell. It's now a 10-point lead by Farmington. Pioneer trying to cut it back to 9. That shot up and good by Powell. Powell with 5 points. So Pioneer's 11. Farmington brings it up the far side. As now bringing it at his Whitfield. Whitfield leading all scores. Whitfield top of the key, loses the handle. Lee trying to get it. That pulled down by Cochran on the far side. Gets it back over to Keeley. Keeley, top of the key, over onto the near wing for 30, who I don't have. 30 kicks it over on the far side. That shot, that goes wide, and that pulled down by Houston McCoy. Here comes Pioneer. Harrison over center court. Harrison gets to the free throw line, now steps back on the far sideline. Harrison comes top of the key, bounce pass, gets it over to Blair. Blair into the paint, moves it back over to Harrison, top of the key. Harrison trying to drive the lane.
Foul on the Falcons is number 30.
It's a foul on 30, who I don't have. That's going to put Harrison to the line. 9th foul on Farmington, 5 on Pioneer. So Pioneer 2 from putting Farmington in the bonus. First shot is up, rattles around, falls off, and pulled down, gets it back to Harrison. Harrison coming down the paint, floats it up and in. Harrison with 6 points draws it to a 7-point lead by Farmington as they bring ahead. Whitfield has it for Farmington over to Keeley. Keeley over to Bailey, top of the key. Bailey moves it over to number 30 on the far wing. Number 30 gets into the paint, trying to get it down. And on the ball, that is going to be a foul. That it's going to be on Blair. That is the 6th foul on Pioneer. puts number 30 to the line. Dribbles the ball, bends the knees, puts it up. Off glass and in. That's his first point of the game. One more coming. Shot up off the back of the rim and in, so that's 2 for 30. Number 30 there, it's 22 for Farmington, 13 for Pioneer. Pioneer brings it quickly ahead. Powell has it on the far sideline. Powell in the far corner now, coming down the baseline. Powell gets it into the paint, trying to make a move is Houston McCoy. That's blocked from behind by Bailey. Bailey up the other direction for Farmington. As Farmington has the 9-point lead over to 30. Now Bailey has it, top of the key, moves it over to Keeley, moving it over to Cochran, who puts it up. That rolls off the rim. Another shot there by Bailey. That gets blocked, but a whistle. As that is going to go the other direction. Cochran picks up what I believe is his third foul. That is going to put Houston McCoy at the line. As that is the 10th foul on Farmington. Shooting 2 is McCoy. First shot is up and good for McCoy. That is his second point of the game. Now down to an 8-point lead by Farmington. Opportunity to get it back down to 7 by Pioneer with 5:59 left to go here in the second. That up off the front of the rim, pulled down by Keeley. Now Pioneer with it. Blair in the paint. Blair trying to get it over to Houston McCoy underneath. That moved as racing back Harrison. Harrison brings it back out. Just on the edge of the blockades. Now Harrison calls out signals on the far sideline. Stolen away. Here comes Keeley, that put up by Bailey. Rolled around the rim. Fell off to the far side. That put back up and in by Whitfield. Whitfield with 10 points. Now it's a 10-point lead for Farmington. Powell quickly into the paint. That off the front of the rim, but it looks like a travel called on Pioneer. With 5:22 left to go here in the second. Farmington with a 10-point lead, 24-14, and they have the ball. Rink back in for Pioneer as that gives Blair a rest. Moxie to inbound. Moxie gets that over to Whitfield. Whitfield bringing it ahead over center. Whitfield has it coming down the far side. Moving it over to Bailey. Bailey for 3. That a little strong. That goes out the sideline. Went off a 30 for Farmington. That will be Pioneer ball with 5:12 left to go here in the second. Farmington with the 10-point lead. Pioneer with the ball baseline right. Houston McCoy to inbound. As that looks like Bailey trying to make it difficult for them. Gets it over to Al-Kakani. Al-Kakani brings the head for Pioneer. Over the center line. Over to Powell on the far sideline. Gets it back to Harrison. Harrison down into the paint. But a whistle blown. That's going to be Moxie's first foul. At the line, shooting 2 is Harrison. Harrison dribbles the ball, spins it, and puts it up. Off the back of the rim, falls off to the far side. Harrison with one more coming. Pioneer trying to get it back down to a 9-point lead. They'd love to make a little bit of a run here before halftime. Farmington trying to keep the pressure on Pioneer. Harrison dribbles, bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Nothing but net for Harrison on that one. That is his 7th point. According to my unofficial stats, bringing ahead is Whitford. Whitford over on the near side to Dale for Farmington. Dale work his way around the arc, kicks it back over to number 30. Top of the key. Now back over to Whitford into the paint, and that's a travel. That'll go over to Pioneer. 9-point lead by Farmington, 24-15. Pioneer with the ball. They fire it ahead to Powell. Long distance pass. Powell trying to make his way down the far side of the paint, and a whistle blown. That is going to put Powell to the line. Shooting 2 is Pioneer in the double bonus. Maxey with his second foul. Powell bends his knees, puts it up, puts it in. Powell with his 6-point. One more free throw coming. Bailey back in for Farmington. That gives Whitford a rest. Whitford with the game-leading 10 points. Next shot for Powell. Rattles home. Powell has 7 points of the Pioneers' 17. 24-17. Farmington with the lead and the ball. Top of the key. Moving over the far side. That grab by Darden. Darden stolen away by Houston McCoy. Now coming up the other direction. Harrison. Bounce pass underneath over to Rink. Rink on the paint. Kicks it back to Powell for a 3. That off the rim. Falls over to the far side. And to get it, Houston McCoy. It's going to be the second foul on Darden. As that is going to put Houston McCoy to the line. Nope, sorry, they'll put Rink to the line, shooting 2. Pioneer with a chance to get it down to 5. First shot up and good by Rink. It's his first point of the game. One more free throw coming. And thank you for joining us on this first game. Rink bends the knees, puts it up off the front of the rim. That pulled down by Houston McCoy, but out. That is going to be over to Farmington. 6-point lead for Farmington, 24-18, 4:22 left to go before halftime as Darden inbounds it. 30 brings it ahead over half court for Farmington. That moved over on the far side to Cochran. Cochran dribbles to his left, being watched by Powell. Now over on the near wing is Bailey. Bailey bounces it over to Dale. Dale comes top of the key. Now moves it over to Darden on the near wing. In the near corner, number 30. Moves it back. Spinning with it, Cochran. And back over to Maurer. Maurer, 30, trying to get to it as Racing trying to steal that away for Pioneer. It's going to be a foul on Darden. That looks like his third foul, if I'm counting things correctly. That makes it for a Pioneer ball. Rinked inbound on the near sideline. Down by 6 with 3:54 left to go. Al Kikani loses an edge but comes over half court. Al Kikani being watched by Hakili. Al Kikani on the near sideline. Comes top of the key. Now works his way over. Moving over to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy gets it over to Powell. That off of Al Kikani's back, but Powell, good job to grab that. Now Rink for 3. That off the rim comes over to the near side. Bailey gets it, stolen away by Harrison. Back over to Houston McCoy. Kicks it to the free throw line. Now racing down. Powell puts up a fadeaway jumper and down and grabbed by number 30 for Farmington. Spinning over Farmington with the lead in the ball into the paint. That floated up off glass and in. Yes, that is a put up. I'm trying to figure out who 30 is. I believe first name is Sean, so we'll just go that way. As it is a 8-point lead. So that's going to be a foul on Sean Harrison at the line. Toes it, puts it up, puts it in. Harrison, nothing but net on that one. He has 8 points, now leading all Pioneer scores. Now 7-point lead by Farmington. Harrison an opportunity to get down to a 6-point lead. Bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Harrison hits both. He has 9 points for the game. And bringing it ahead is Bailey for Farmington. Over half court, 26 for Farmington, 20 for Pioneer. 2:57 left to go here before halftime. As that over to Sean. Sean moves over, kicks that to Cochran, top of the key. Cochran over into the near corner for Bailey. Now top of the key over to Hakili. Hakili Makes his way down the paint, puts it up off glass, little too strong, and pulled down by Houston McCoy. Here comes Pioneer, down by 6, as that's a three-pointer by Rink off the rim. Al Kikani with the rebound. Now another three-pointer, that Harrison off the back of the rim. Houston McCoy with the rebound. He puts up the shot. Wouldn't fall for him, but a foul, and that is going to put Houston McCoy to the line with an opportunity to cut it to 4 points. That is going to be a foul on Cochran. I believe that's his 4th foul. Again, these are not official stats. Looking to come in is Maxey. First shot up and good for Houston McCoy. He has 3 points. Thought he put it in, didn't see. He didn't put it up on the scoreboard. There it is. Okay, I'm not crazy. Next shot coming for McCoy. That off the front of the rim. And pulling it down, headed the other direction is Whitfield for Farmington. 5-point lead for Farmington, 26-21. Whitfield racing down the paint, losing an edge, puts it up, but a travel called. That will be Pioneer ball, baseline right, as Powell inbound for Pioneer. 1 minute, 50 seconds left to go. Pioneer down by 5. Rink brings it up the far sideline, gets it ahead to Houston McCoy. In the paint, puts it up. That blocked by Bailey. That will stay Pioneer ball. They'll have it underneath their own basket, baseline left with 1 minute, 44 seconds left to go. Here in the first half. That bounced over to Blair. Now Rink has it over in the near corner for Powell for 3, and Powell hits it. Powell now with 10 points. Pioneer has the knocks the Farmington lead down to 2. Farmington with the ball and the lead 26-24. As Haley has it, gets it over to Whitfield. Whitfield coming up the paint, puts it up off the side of the rim, falls to the near side. And pulled down by Harrison, quickly ahead to Powell. Powell coming down into the paint. Powell puts it up off glass, that off the near side. Pulling it down was Whitfield. He goes down hard to the down to the court, and a whistle blown. Rink picks up his first foul, timeout called, and we'll play a message from the MHSAA here, as it is Farmington 26, Pioneer 25, with 1 minute, 9 seconds left to go before halftime. You're watching Pioneer Junior Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
1 minute, 9 seconds left to go here in the first half. Farmington 26, Pioneer 24. Farmington in the dark blue jerseys with, I believe that's white or kind of an off-white numbers on the front and on the back. Farmington block lettering across the front. Pioneer in their white home jerseys with purple numbers on the front and back. Pioneer and block lettering arched across the front. To the line is Whitfield. Whitfield tied with the game high, 10 points, looking to add to it here. Whitfield's first shot off the back of the rim, pulled down. By the way, now that was Pioneer's 7th foul. That puts Farmington into the bonus. Harrison over center for Pioneer, gets it over to Houston McCoy, back to Harrison. Harrison into the paint, puts up with the left hand, in, basket good, and the whistle. Harrison now with 11 points, chance to make it 12. It's going to be Aquila with his second foul. Harrison bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Pioneer has taken the lead. Harrison with 12 points. Pioneer 27, Farmington 26. Farmington bringing it ahead. Whitfield has it, puts it over on the far wing. Now over to Hakili. Over and out the near sideline. That goes over to Pioneer. 43.2 seconds left to go here before halftime. Pioneer with a 1-point lead and the ball rinked inbound. Baseline right, Dale watching the inbounds pass for Farmington. Now Dale will back off. That ball over to Powell for Pioneer. Powell, top of the key, puts it up for three, and he hits it. Powell now has 13 points, and Pioneer is now up by 4 as that set back. Dale has it, picked up his dribble, bounces it, but that is a whistle. As Powell got caught and couldn't, I don't think anyone noticed, as he couldn't get any help and ended up having to drag that pivot foot. That is going to be Pioneer ball, 30-26. Pioneer with the lead on a huge run to close out the half. Al-Kakani brings it ahead over the blockades, over the center stripe. Al-Kakani heads over on the far sideline, being watched by Dale. Al-Kakani trying to make a move, backing up, trying to get a little room versus Dale, calling out signals. Now Al-Kakani gets it over to Powell in the far corner. Powell back to Al-Kakani. Now over to Harris on the near wing. Harris into the paint. Over for 3 from Rink, and that got tipped and fell short. But at half, Pioneer has the lead, coming from as much as, I believe it was 10 behind, to take a 4-point lead at halftime. Pioneer 30 and Farmington 26. Going over the unofficial scoring here, as Pioneer is led by Powell with 13 points. Harrison has 12 points, 3 points for Houston McCoy, 2 points for Carter, and 1 point for Rink. Fouls are thusly 2 on Harrison, 2 on Al-Kakani, 1 on Rink, and 1 on Blair. On the other side, Whitfield has 10 points, 4 points for Mauer, 4 points for Sean, and let's see, 3 points for Sykes, 2 points for Hakili, and 2 points for Bailey. I believe Cochran has 4 fouls, but again, that's completely early unofficial. 3 fouls, I believe, on Darden, 2 fouls on Moxie, 2 fouls on Hakili, 2 fouls on Sean, number 30, and 1 foul on Sykes. As we will take and play a few messages from the MHSAA. You are watching Pioneer Men's Junior Varsity Basketball. They have the 4-point lead at halftime over Farmington, 30-26. And this is brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. We are excited, by the way, to announce we will have a fantastic color commentator join us on the game versus Skyline, not this Friday, but next Friday. Unfortunately, this Friday I will not be able to broadcast the basketball games as well, that darn day job gets in the way occasionally, and I do have some things that have to happen there. But we will be back the next week, and we'll broadcast the games versus crosstown rival Skyline. Let's play a few messages from the MHSA. 9 minutes left of halftime.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
as we have about 2 minutes and 22 seconds left of halftime. Do want to mention the coaches for both squads. JV head coach for Farmington is Jeremy Duncans. Assistant coach is Victor Edge. And they just flipped with the freshman squads. By the way, freshman Farmington did beat Pioneer by a score of 54-40. At halftime during the varsity contest, we'll see if we can get a scoreboard report. Not too many games have happened thus far in the SEC, but we'll do our best to highlight those that have. On the Pioneers side, the freshman coach that you saw right when the broadcast first started is Rusty Fuller. JV head coach is Lawrence the Wolf. As both squads getting warmed up, 1 minute 30 seconds left to go here, as we didn't hop right between the freshman game into this one with not a lot of time. I just got the roster, so please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing anyone's name or scrambling a little bit. I'm very, very grateful for all of your support for these wonderful, amazing athletes. Pioneer 30 and Farmington 26. Pioneer was down by as much as 10 points in the second quarter. Were able to make a big run at the second to go up by 4. As leading scorers for Pioneer, Powell has 13 as he had 2 huge three-pointers towards the end of the first half, and then Harrison has 12 for Pioneer, 3 for Houston McCoy, 2 for Garner, 1 for Ring. On the other side, leading scorer for Farmington is Whitfield. He has 10 points. It's 4 points for number 30, Sean, 4 points for Maurer, 3 points for Sykes, 2 points for Keeley, and 2 points for Bailey, as we are getting ready to go with this, the second half, as we will have the inbound pass right in front of us. As Farmington inbound to open up the third as McKaylee right in front of us to inbound. Minutes up on the clock. We will have the varsity contest following this. Akili gets that over to Whitfield. Whitfield over center. Whitfield over on the near side to Sykes. Sykes works his way around. That put up by Bailey. Rattles around. Comes out the near side. Grabbed by Harrison. Harrison gets it over to Lee. And it's stolen back away by Maurer. Underneath by Whitfield. He puts it up and puts it in. He has 12 points. And now it's a 2-point game. Pioneer 30, Farmington 28. Lee has it on the near side of the baseline. Into the paint, puts it up. That falls short, but a whistle. That is going to be a shooting foul. That is going to be on number 10, Maurer. Lee with his first shot up off the glass and in. Lee with his first point of the game. One more coming. That makes it a 3-point lead for Pioneer. Lee trying to make it 4. Lee bends the knees, puts it up off the side of the rim, falls away, but rebound to Harrison. Harrison gets it back over the rink on the far sideline. Over to Houston McCoy, working his way around the arc. Houston McCoy on the edge of the paint. Had a little strong, pulled down by Maurer. Maurer brings it ahead now. Here comes Whitfield for Farmington over the center strike. Puts it over on the far side to Sykes. Sykes coming down to the baseline, puts it up off the rim, pulling it down, trying to get it Harrison, as that grab by Whitfield, moving it back underneath, up and rattles home, off the rim and down for Maurer. Maurer has 6 points now. Pioneer down to a 1-point lead, 31-30. Pioneer brings it ahead. Harrison gets it over to Lee on the near wing. Lee into the paint, trying to get it over to Powell. That gets tied up, jump ball. That is going to go Pioneers' way. So Powell will inbound underneath his basket, baseline right. Powell gets over to Houston McCoy on the near baseline. That's stolen away by Sykes. Sykes brings it ahead for Farmington. Farmington down by 1. Sykes gets underneath, up and in for Maurer as he was right underneath the basket. Sykes found him. Maurer now with 8 points, and it's a 1-point lead for Farmington. Underneath, trying to get to Harrison. Loose ball in the paint. Harrison moved it over underneath. Houston McCoy trying to get to it as he gets helped up by the official. That is going to be Farmington ball. So Farmington, the 1-point lead and the ball baseline right. That ahead to Whitfield. Whitfield quickly gets it ahead over to Maurer. Maurer puts it up off the rim and out. The baseline, that will go over to Pioneer. 32 points for Farmington, 31 for Pioneer, 6:09 left to go here in the third. Powell to inbound baseline left for Pioneer. As now Harrison brings it ahead. Harrison over the blockades, cuts down towards the far wing. Harrison over to Powell, just right of center into the near corner for Rink. Rink over to Houston McCoy. Whistle, as I believe that is going to be on Whitfield. That will be his second. Whitfield with his second. Pioneer inbounds over to Houston McCoy on the baseline on the near side. Over to Al Kakani. Al Kakani gets it back out on the arc. Here's a three-pointer by Powell off the back of the rim. Al Kakani chases it down. Now Powell moves it over onto the near wing for Harrison. Top of the key, over to Al Kakani. Al Kakani has to pick up his dribble, gets it over to Harrison. Harrison into the paint, puts it up off glass and in. Harrison now has 14 points. He leads all scores as that puts Pioneer up by 1 as they have the 33-32 lead. Farmington brings it ahead. Bailey has it, foot on the three-point line, takes a shot. That grab by Harrison, rebound by Pioneer. Harrison brings it ahead over the center stripe. Harrison gets it over on the near wing. That put up by Al Kakani for 3. Rattles out of the rim, off the glass and out. Here comes Farmington the other way, down by 1. Bailey has it at the arc. Bailey into the paint, puts up a finger roll. That wouldn't go down. Quickly the other direction for Powell for Pioneer. Powell lays it up, lays it in with the finger roll. Powell with 15 points. Pioneer now up by 3, 35-32. 4:40 left to go here in the third. Sykes over half court for Farmington. Sykes has Powell watching him. Sykes picks up his dribble. Now needs some help. Sykes hands it off to Whitfield. Whitfield coming down, drives the lane, kicks it back out. That put up by Dale off the rim. Now Maurer puts it up off the glass and in. Maurer has heated up. He has 10 points, and it's down to a 1-point lead for Pioneer, 35-34. Harrison brings it ahead for Pioneer, working against Sykes. That ball down on the ground, moved over. Here comes Maurer with it for Farmington to take the lead from the right elbow, puts it up and in. 12 points for Maurer. Now Farmington has the 36-35 lead with 3:50 left to go here in the third. Powell for Pioneer, over to Al Kakani, into the corner for Rink. Underneath for Powell. Big contact underneath the basket. Powell goes down. That'll be a foul. That should be the third foul this period. 22, that would be Sykes. As Powell in the act of shooting, he'll have 2 shots. Pioneer down by 1. Farmington up 36-35. Powell puts up the first shot, rattles it home. As now it is a tie game, 36-36. Powell has one more coming. As coming in, Haley comes in for Farmington. Powell dribbles, eyes the rim, bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Nothing but net for Powell. He regains the point lead with 17. Pioneer 37, Farmington 36. Back and forth we go here in the third as Whitfield drives the lane before he can get it in. There's a whistle. That is going to be on Al Kakani. That is his third foul, first foul on Pioneer this half. As Sykes will inbound baseline left underneath his own basket for Farmington. Sykes moves it, that knocked by Lee, but Maurer gets it, puts it up, and rims out, grabbed by Lee, trying to get it over to Blair, down on the ground, and controlled by Hakeli. On the far side of the arc, Hakeli gets it into the far corner for Whitfield as he loses the handle. Timeout called by Farmington as we'll take it with him as varsity families coming in for the varsity game coming up. Let's play a little push on, keep Pioneer fired up in this back and forth affair. Pioneer 37 and Farmington 36, 3:17 left to go in the third. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left to go here in the third. Pioneer up by a point, 37-36. Timeout call by Farmington. They'll inbound it based on the far sideline right in front of their bench. Good crowd here for the first JV game of the season for the men's squad. And move back over as Hakeli trying to get it over as that grab by Whitfield. Whitfield back to Hakeli. That goes out the far sideline. That will stay Farmington ball as they will inbound it in front of their bench. Farmington Falcons. The inbound as Whitfield, as Al Kakani, watching him, gets that over to Hakeli. That's stolen away by Powell. Powell comes down into the paint for Pioneer. Powell puts it up off the front of the rim. Wouldn't go down. Lee grabs it. Contact there in the paint. That would be in the act of shooting. That will be on two. That would be Hakeli. That will be his third. Over to Lee in the near corner for Pioneer. That to Harrison. Harrison kicks it back to Al Kakani. Al Kakani traveled. That will be Farmington ball. Farmington inbound on the near sideline as that's darted. Gets it over to Whitfield. Whitfield brings ahead for Farmington. Farmington down by one. 2:50 left to go here in the third. Al Kakani watching Whitfield. Whitfield into the paint as he goes down in the paint. That is going to be on Al Kakani. That, I believe, is his fourth. As now looking to check in is Houston McCoy. As that'll give Al Kakani a breather. Falcons ball. It's Farmington to inbound, baseline left. As darted, gets it into the far corner, coming ahead is Whitfield, goes up, contact made, and the whistle. That is going to be on Harrison. That is his, I believe, third foul. That is going to put Whitfield at the line with an opportunity to take the lead. First shot is up and good for Whitfield. He has 13, trying to make it 14. We're all knotted up at 37 apiece. Whitfield puts up the second shot, and he gives Farmington the 1-point lead He has 14 points. 38-37. Farmington with the lead. Pioneer brings it ahead. Powell comes over half court. Powell over on the near sideline to Harrison. Harrison comes down into the near corner. Harrison gets it back over. Harrison comes into the paint. Kicks it back. That's stolen away. Here comes Sykes the other way for Farmington. Sykes puts up a fall-away jumper. That off the side of the rim. Grabbed by Lee. Pioneer heads the other direction, down by 1. Over to Harrison. Harrison drives the lane, puts it up, now moves it over, and put up by Houston McCoy. Falls off the rim to the near side, but a whistle.
Foul is on the Falcons. Falcons foul for 21.
It's going to be Darden's, I believe, 4th foul. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. 5 fouls on Farmington, 3 on Pioneer. 2 more fouls on Farmington. That'll put Pioneer in the bonus. As Maurer comes out, they bring in Akeli. Powell inbounds to Lee. Lee on the near wing. And all the way over to Gary. Gary back over. Gary gets it, 3-pointer off the back of the rim, trying to pull it down is Lee, and that's going to end up being over the back, and will go to Farmington. So I believe that's going to be a foul on Lee. That'll be his second. Darden inbound, baseline right for Farmington. Farmington up by 1. 1 minute, 53 seconds left to go here in the third. As Whitfield brings it over half court. Now Haley moves it over to Sykes. Sykes comes top of the key, puts it up. That rattles home. 3-pointer for Sykes. He now has 6. That is his second 3-pointer. 4-point lead by Farmington. Harrison goes over center, but there is a whistle. That's going to be Sykes with the foul. That's his 3rd foul. 6 fouls now on Farmington, 4 on Pioneer. 1 more foul on Farmington. Pioneer, he'll be in the bonus, shooting 1 and 1. Harrison inbound right in front of the scorer's bench on the far side. 41 points for Farmington, 37 for Pioneer. Inbounded, now Rink brings it back over center. Rink being watched by Dale. Rink dribbles to his left. Rink into the far corner, now underneath, trying to get that over to Blair. Shot rims off for Houston McCoy. Battle for the rebound. And it's going to be a foul. That is going to be on Bailey. That is Bailey's first of the game. That is 7 fouls for Farmington. That puts Pioneer in the bonus. Shooting 1 and 1 is Blair. Blair toes the line. Gets the basket. Pioneer down by 4. Blair looking to cut the Farmington lead in half. First shot is up. That off the rim. As tracking it down, Bailey. That goes out. Farmington ball. Farmington with the ball in the 4-point lead. 41-37. 1:13 left to go here in the third. As Whitfield brings it up over center. Whitfield now working against Harrison. Whitfield dashes it off over on the far side. It's over to Haley for 3. That off the rim. Pulled down by Blair for Pioneer. Here comes Rink ahead for Pioneer. Gets it over to Houston McCoy on the far wing. Back over to Rink on the far sideline. Rink gets it over into the paint. That's stolen away by Bailey. Bailey the other way for Farmington. Bailey puts it up as Harrison in the lane goes down. Harrison gets up. Ooh, he is limping bad as he went down hard. Harrison was holding his back. He goes off and he'll go down as Harrison in some pain. He picks up the foul as they will get him off the court and work on him. We hope Harrison will be all right. Love to see these players play their guts up. You don't want to see any of these young athletes injured. That is the 5th foul on Pioneer, 7 fouls on Farmington. 5 on Pioneer. Bailey to the line. First shot is up off the front of the rim. Still a 4-point lead. One more shot coming for Bailey as he was in the act of shooting when fouled. Now Bailey dribbles, bends his knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. Bailey with his third point. That makes it a 5-point lead for Farmington, 42-37. 45 seconds left to go here in the third. Pioneer brings the ball ahead. Powell goes over the blockade, being watched by Sykes. Powell now working against Haley. Powell comes top of the key. Now works his way to the right around the arc, comes to the baseline. Powell puts up off the rim, trying to get it the rebound. Blair, that pulled down by Maurer. Coming the other direction with the lead is Farmington, 42-37. Farmington with the lead. Sykes over on the far sideline being watched by Powell. They get that over to Moxie. Back over to Haley on the far sideline. Lee watching him. 7 seconds left to go. That put up by Haley. Knocks it down. 4 points for Haley, as that is a 7-point lead for Farmington. Pioneer had taken the lead at halftime. Farmington able to come back and make it a 7-point lead at the end of the third. So at the end of the third, it is Pioneer 37 and Farmington 44. Let's play a quick message from the MHSAA, and we will return with your fourth quarter action.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
8 minutes up on the clock. Farmington has the 7-point lead, 44-37. Pioneer is in the bonus. 7 fouls on Farmington, 5 fouls on Pioneer. It's been a back and forth affair in the third. As Kaylee, the inbound, gets that over to Whitfield. Whitfield over the half-court stripe. Whitfield moves it over to Kaylee. Now over on the far side, over to Dale. Dale into the free throw line, moves it over on the far side. McKaylee gets it back over to Dale. Dale over on the near side to Bailey. Bailey into the near corner for Whitfield. Back over, that put up for 3, and that's 3 for Dale. That's his first points of the game. That makes it a 10-point lead, 47-37 by Farmington. Powell has that tipped away. That'll go out the far sideline. Pioneer to inbound on that far sideline. As that'll be Rink just between the scorer's bench and the Farmington bench. That gets back over to Powell. Powell brings that, being watched by Haley. Powell dribbles to his right, cuts underneath to Harrison, and that blocked underneath. Goes out. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. Powell will inbound. Pioneer down by 10. 7:15 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer looking for a run as Powell gets it underneath to Harrison, knocked away. Rink trying to get to it. Stepping out, I believe, was Dale. That'll be Pioneer with the inbound. As Powell skies it all the way back to Harrison. Harrison coming now, driving the lane. Harrison loses the handle. That goes out. Farmington's ball. They have the 47-37 lead. Farmington does. 7:05 left to go. Bringing Ed Whitfield for Farmington. Whitfield comes over half court. Whitfield working against Harrison into the near corner. That put up by Dale. That falls short. Stepping out on the baseline was Farmington. That will be Pioneer ball. 6:51 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer down by 10. Bringing ahead is Harrison down the far sideline. Harrison steps up to the arc, now kicks it over on the near side to Powell. Al Kakani back to Rink, top of the key. Rink dribbles to his left, now moves it over to Harrison on the far wing. Back to Rink, top of the key. Rink back over to Powell, just off center on the far side. Powell gets it into the far corner for Harrison for three. And pulled down by Maurer. Here comes Farmington the other direction with the 10-point lead. 6:15 left to go. Over to Hakeli. Hakeli back over to Bailey. Bailey thought about the three, now drives the lane, puts it up with the right hand off the side of the rim. That pulled back. Hakeli puts up the three. That rattles front back rim. Trying to put it back up was Bailey. He's fouled in the process. Shot wouldn't fall. That is now the sixth foul on Pioneer. Houston McCoy picks up his first foul of the game. Timeout call by Pioneer. Let's play a message from the MHSAA.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
6 minutes, 3 seconds left to go here in the fourth, as it is to the line shooting is Bailey for Farmington. They have a 10-point lead, 47-37. Bailey trying to extend that lead. Pioneer had the lead at halftime. Farmington stormed back in the third. First shot off the front of the rim. One more shot coming for Bailey to try and make it an 11-point lead. Bailey dribbles, bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, and rattles around and down. Bailey with 4 points on the game. Pioneer brings ahead, down by 11. Powell over half court. Powell working his way against Takeli. Gets a screen. Powell comes over on the far side of the arc now. Powell drives the lane, floats it up, rolls all the way around, falls off the near side of the rim. That goes out. That will the Pioneer ball. Powell inbound, baseline right. Powell gets it over to Houston McCoy in the near corner. Houston McCoy floats it over to Al Kakani down the lane. He loses the handle, as that will be a jump ball. As possession arrow points Pioneer's way. See if they'll switch over. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. Maurer goes out for a breather. And trying to get it, that tipped away. Here comes Akeli. All the way down, driving the lane for Farmington. As contact in the lane. Let's see which way this goes. I believe on Pioneer. I think that's going to be on. I believe that's going to be on Al Kakani. That would be his fourth foul. Okay, Lee at the line. That'll be the seventh foul on Pioneer. That should put Farmington in the bonus, and now that goes up. 5:35 left to go. 11-point lead for Farmington with the ability to extend it. First shot bounces off the front of the rim. The glass falls away to the near side. Blair comes in for Al Kakani. One more shot coming, trying to make it a 12-point lead for Farmington is Hakeli at the line. He gets the ball. Hakeli bends the knees, puts it up off the back of the rim, and tracked down by Rink. Here comes Pioneer, down by 11 with the ball. 5:30 left to go here in the fourth. Rink moves it over on the far sideline to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy over on the near wing. Racing in with it, it's Harrison who floats it up, floats it in. That is 16 points for Harrison. That brings it down to a 9-point lead, 48-39 for Farmington, as racing ahead was Whitfield, but calling a timeout was Farmington. They want to talk things over with 5 minutes, 11 seconds left to go, as we will have the varsity game coming up next. A couple other broadcasts coming up this week for us. If I can pull up the list, we'll have a pair of hockey games tomorrow. Let me get our schedule pulled up here. There we go. So looking at today being the 6th, looking at the 7th, we will have Pioneer men's hockey versus Roosevelt from Yak Ice Arena at 6:50, so long as we can find a internet signal there. We'll have the women's varsity hockey as they play Plymouth over at Vets Ice Arena. That will be at 7 p.m. No action on Thursday. We will not be able to broadcast the men's basketball games versus Monroe or the men's hockey game at Riverview on Friday, but we will be back on Saturday with both a men's and a women's hockey game. That will be Saturday the 10th, as the women face off versus Mercy at Vets, and the men play Skyline over at the Arctic Coliseum. Again, we will do our best to get signal there, as the Arctic Coliseum is the bane of my existence in my Wi-Fi. As that sky back over to Bailey, bringing it ahead, 9-point lead for Farmington, and the ball as Dardick kicks it back on the far sideline. Over to Hakeli. Hakeli being watched by Powell. Over to Whitfield. Whitfield into the far corner. That put up by Bailey for 3. And he hits it. That'll be 7 points for Bailey. That puts it up 51-39. Farmington with the lead with 4:45 left to go. Powell has it for Pioneer. Top of the key, Powell hands it off to Houston McCoy at the top of the key. Now moving over Harrison, working his way around the arc. Harrison coming down the baseline, or coming down the paint. That's stolen away, coming ahead with it. As that put up, would not fall for Darden, but that will be a foul on Pioneer. That'll be Powell's first foul of the game. So Darden to the line, looking to add to his lead. And first shot off the back of the rim. 12-point lead by Farmington. One more shot coming for Darden. Darden dribbles the ball, bends his knees, puts the shot up. Off the back of the rim, that grab by Houston McCoy. 51 for Farmington, 39 for Pioneer. 4:23 left to go here in the fourth, as Harrison gets it and gets it back on give and go into the paint, over to Powell for 3. That rims out as the ball loose goes out. That will stay Pioneer ball. Pioneer trying to make a big run. Pioneer had the lead at halftime. Farmington came storming back in the third. They have yet to relinquish the lead since then. It's Houston McCoy on the baseline into the paint. That goes off a foot and out of bounds. That will be Farmington ball. As Kaylee has it baseline right, now bringing it ahead, stolen away by Blair. That ball loose. Blair goes down to the court to get it. Now that picked up by Moxie, and timeout call by Farmington. That will keep Farmington with the ball. Farmington with the 51-37 lead. 3 minutes, 58 seconds left to go. Let's play a little push on, try and get Pioneer fired up for a big comeback in the last 4 minutes. We are live at the main gym here at Pioneer, where it is the varsity squad for Pioneer taking on the Farmington Falcons. Pioneer is down by 12 with 3:58 left to go. The freshman team fell to the Falcons 54-40. JV squad trying to make a big comeback here. Varsity game will be shortly after this contest here. As Kaylee to inbound on the near sideline for Farmington. So they have the ball and the lead. And get that ahead to Moxie. Moxie moves it over to Bailey. Bailey on the far sideline. Bailey steps back, working against Powell. That kicked over to Whitfield. Whitfield spins with it, now moving it over to Hakeli. Hakeli drives the lane, loses the handle. Powell had it, and a whistle. Let's see which way this goes. That ball is going to be on number 2, Hakeli. That puts Powell to the line, shooting 2. Both squads have 8 fouls. They're both in the bonus. Powell puts up the first shot. That rattles around and home, off the front, the back of the rim, and then down. Powell leads all scorers with 18. Again, my point's unofficial here. Powell with the chance to cut it to a 10-point lead. As Gary back in for Pioneer, as well as Mazzago. That up, off the front, the back of the rim, and down. So Powell makes it a 10-point lead for Farmington. Farmington with the ball, baseline right. Dale to inbound. That grab now coming ahead with his Whitfield. Whitfield down the near sideline. Gets that over to Dale. Dale comes to the top of the arc. Dale kicks it back to Whitfield on the near wing. Back to Dale, top of the key. Dale stops, moves it over. That goes out of bounds on the near sideline. Pioneer ball, 3:27 left to go. Down by 10, 51-41. Powell quickly on the near wing, work his way around the arc into the near corner. Powell trying to get it over, flashing in front. That was Moxie. That will go out of bounds. Pioneer with the ball. Harrison, that is Mazzago to inbound right in front of us. Mazzago skies it over, that to Gary. Gary over on the far side to Houston McCoy. Houston McCoy puts it up the glass, a little too hard. Grabbing at Gary with the rebound, that falling away. Here comes Farmington with it. Farmington quickly ahead to Maurer. Maurer skies it over to Dale. Dale into the paint, puts it up too high, off the glass. Grabbed by Gary, big collision underneath the paint, and a whistle. That should go against Farmington. He said it confidently. So the officials have the best view. So Tyson McCoy picks up the foul. That will, no, that's not right because it's going down over to the Pioneer wide. That would be Maxey who picks up the foul. So Gary to the line. Shooting 1 and 1. 9 fouls now on Farmington. One more puts Pioneer in the double bonus. First shot up, off glass, rattles home for Gary. That's his first point of the game. That gets it down to a 9-point lead for Farmington. Rink comes in. He replaces Mazzago for Pioneer. Must have been a lane violation because that's pulled away and it's Farmington ball. So that comes back, grabbing it, skying it over onto the far side is Whitfield. Whitfield on the far sideline, gets that over to Hakeli. Hakeli trying to get it underneath to Maurer. That goes out of bounds over to Pioneer. Pioneer down by 10, 51 to 41. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go. Gary has it on the near wing. Gary moves it back over to Harrison. Harrison at the free throw line. Harrison gets it back on the far wing, drives the paint and up. Misses glass, pulled the other direction by Whitfield. Whitfield quickly ahead over to Hakeli. Hakeli skies it back to Whitfield. Now over on the near side of the arc, back over to Whitfield. Whitfield has it just on the P for Pioneer. Whistle, and that is going to be a foul on Harrison. That's going to be his fourth foul. 9 fouls on Pioneer, 9 fouls on Farmington, 2:18 left to go. Farmington with the 10-point lead. Whitfield leading all Farmington scorers with the opportunity to add to it. Off the back of the rim, grab, put up, rolling around. I believe that was Bailey who put it up and in. My view was blocked there by the tall trees. Bringing it ahead, here comes Powell. 12-point lead by Farmington as Harrison gets it over to Powell. Powell at the three-point line on the near wing, over to Rink. Rink works his way around the arc to the far side. In the far corner, Harrison. Harrison kicks it off. Powell for three, and he hits it. Powell has 22 points. Gets it back to a 9-point lead for Farmington. Timeout called by Pioneer. 30-second timeout for Pioneer. So 1 minute, 48 seconds left to go. 9-point lead for Farmington. They've extended it to as much as 12 here in this fourth quarter. Varsity contest will be next. That was scheduled at 7 o'clock, but of course there'll be a little bit of time between the two contests for both squads to warm up. It was a quick, I think it was almost 5 minutes between the freshmen and the JV games. As sometimes the games go quick, sometimes they don't, and things get pushed back a little bit. Falcons ball. Baseline right to inbound to Caleb. Falcons down by 9. Farmington bring ahead. Whitfield skies it up in the air. Gary trying to get to it. Looks like Dresden might be called for going over the back. Either that or just out of bounds. That'll be just out of bounds. That'll be Falcon ball. Hakeli has it. Hakeli gets that back over to Whitfield. Whitfield brings it ahead. Whitfield goes over half court, stolen away by Harrison. Harrison drives the lane. Harrison puts it up with the right hand, off glass and in. Harrison has 18 points, as it is now a 7-point lead with 1 minute, 27 seconds left for Farmington. And back over top of the key to Bailey. Bailey coming on the far sideline, trying to knock that away as Powell gets it. Here comes Pioneer down by 7, 1 minute, 15 seconds left to go. Underneath to Gary, who puts it up too high off the glass. Blair got the rebound, going up a contact in the paint. It is going to be on Bailey, his second. That's going to put Blair to the line. That puts Pioneer in the double bonus, so shooting 2 is Blair. Opportunity to get it down to a 5-point game with 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go. It's currently a 7-point lead for Farmington. Blair dribbles the ball, eyes the rim, bends the knees, puts it up. Off glass and in. Blair with his first point of the game, but at a critical, crucial time. Lots of substitutions as Dale coming in, as well as Hakeli and Whitfield. For Farmington, Blair with one more shot coming. Blair, that off the back of the rim, 6-point lead for Farmington, 53 to 47, 1:05 left to go. Farmington has the ball on the near sideline, full court pressure by Pioneer, and popped up high. Now Maurer has it over half court, sends it back. into the near corner as that put up off glass by Bailey, grabbed by Maurer. His shot goes wide to the near side. Whistle underneath, 47.7 seconds left to go. As that is going to be a foul on Farmington. That is going to be on Bailey. Bailey picks up his third foul. Pioneer in the double bonus. Powell trying to cut into a 6-point lead with only 47.7 takes up the clock left. Huge free throws here for Powell. Powell bends the knees, puts up the first one, that off the back of the rim. Powell leads all scorers with 22 points, trying to add to that. Second shot is up. Second shot is good. That gets it down to a 5-point game. So Powell has 23 points. Farmington quickly ahead, 53-48. Racing ahead with it is Dale on the near sideline. A whistle and a timeout called by Farmington with 37.9 seconds left to go. Let's play a little push on. Pioneer in the double bonus, Farmington in the bonus, but Pioneer one more foul away from putting Farmington in the double bonus. So over 10 fouls on Farmington, 9 on Pioneer. It is Farmington 53, Pioneer 48. So 5-point lead by Farmington. 37.9 seconds left to go. Farmington led by as much as 12 here in this fourth quarter. Pioneer was down early, took the lead at halftime and then in a third quarter that was back and forth. Farmington, towards the end of the third, extended their lead. They have yet to give up that lead as they have the ball, inbounding it baseline left as Hakeli to inbound. Hakeli hands it off to Blair. Blair gets it back over to Whitfield. Whitfield over to Maurer in the far corner. Maurer skies it over to Blair. Quickly back over to Whitfield. Obviously, Farmington in no hurry. There's a foul by Powell as Pioneer had to foul. No shot clock in Michigan high school basketball, at least not as of yet. There's been talk, but with a chance to add to the lead. Bailey at the line. He'll be shooting two, as now that foul is the 10th foul on Pioneer. So Farmington in the double bonus, 25.4 seconds left to go. And up and in, and makes it tough sledding for Pioneer on their comeback, as that's 6 points, trying to make it 7 points here. Well, Pioneer's going to battle till the very last whistle. Next one up by Bailey, rattles around and down. Looked like it was going to pop out. It looked like that was a lane violation, so that will stay a 6-point lead. And now Harrison bringing it for Pioneer. 22 seconds left to go as Harrison had it on the baseline, knocked away, battle for it in the near corner. Back over to Harrison, he goes up, contact underneath. Harrison will go to the line. He will try and make it a 4-point game. But the clock now a serious issue for Pioneer. 14.6 seconds left to go. Harrison with 18 points on the game. Second leading scorer for Pioneer. Powell has 23. Harrison dribbles, bends the knees, puts it up off the front, the back. Oh, hard luck bounce. Hit the front of the rim, the back of the rim. Looked like it was going to go down and fell off to the far side. One more coming. Now Pioneer can only get it down to a 5-point lead. As Harrison puts it up. Harrison puts it in. That's his 19 points. 5-point lead with 12 seconds left to go as Whitfield fouled by Pioneer. It's Harrison racing down. I believe that's the 5th foul on Harrison, if I have that correct. I may not. As Harrison comes out, Carter comes in for Pioneer. Whitfield leading all of the Farmington scores with a chance to really put it out of reach. 5 points left, 5-point lead. First shot up off the front of the rim. Stays 5 points. One more shot coming for Whitfield. Most important stat, though, 9.2 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Whitfield puts it up off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go. That grab by Houston McCoy. Stolen away by Hakani. 6 seconds left to go. And they'll just pass it around, and that will do it. Farmington wins by a score of 54-49. Farmington winning both the freshman and the JV contest. Pioneer will attempt to win the varsity contest coming up next. As I want to thank my camera person, Christina Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. We will be right back as soon as we see how much time they put up on the clock. I'll set the next game to start, and we'll have it over there. Oh, yeah, man.